So I want to give you my mini tour of Xiamen, and I'm starting off from the building where Hannah and I live. This is on the roof of the building. We're 32 stories up here, so it's a pretty cool view. I'll just show you. The plan is we're gonna hike up to the top of that hill over there, and okay, I'll give you more commentary from the temple. Catch you later. This is the walk from the apartment where we live to Namputo Temple. I like these old streets in Xiamen because it shows you the way it was back in the day. Pretty cool, narrow alleyways. The noise you hear is just the sound of places being renovated, demolished or built. I stopped here because this is a youth hostel. I'm not sure if the youth hostel is going to stay, but last year when our friend Morris visited from Japan, this is the hostel that he stayed at. But as you can see, there's some heavy construction going on here. So I can't be sure if they're going to pull the whole place down or they're renovating it to make. So if you're not familiar with Buddhist culture, you might think that these symbols look like the swastika from Nazi Germany, but that's not the case. In fact, well, the arrows are pointing the opposite way from the swastika, but this actually is a symbol of a Buddhist temple. So all Buddhist temples throughout Asia, of course China, Japan, Korea, they use this symbol. The thing about the Buddhist priests in China is you're never quite sure if they're real ones or not, because you get a lot of fake priests coming up to you on the street. They give you a good luck charm, or they force it onto you, put it in your hand, and then you have to give them money. So there's a lot of scams that go on. Plus you see Buddhist monks going into McDonald's and coming out of the bank with a stack of money, and seems not that they're not really living up to the So now we're hiking up Namputo mountain. I forgot the exact height, but it's a bit over 200 meters. Pretty steep hill. In the daytime, lots of tourists here. So even though it's November, I worked up quite a sweat, climb up the hill. Yeah, very steep hill, but it's worth it. Beautiful view up here. And down there is Xiamen University, where I work and where Hannah studies. Beautiful campus, very natural, maybe not the typical image of China. Well, it's one of the reasons Xiamen is such a popular city for international visitors and students. The two big towers that you can see behind me, they're Hilton Hotel, currently under construction. Quite controversial because this part of Xiamen, as you can see, everything is low-lying, and they've got the temple, university, and a lot of the old streets which I showed you earlier. So this is basically changing the atmosphere. It's also going to cast a shadow over the temple, which is bad for feng shui. according to Chinese traditions. If you do want to climb the hill at Nambuto, as I'm doing now, I do actually recommend coming late in the day. It's just past 5 p.m. now. If you come in the middle of the day, too many tourists. It could take you a long time to get up the hill, and a lot of uncomfortable moments squeezing past people, being knocked. Potentially dangerous too, because some of those edges are pretty steep. Anyway, nice and quiet now. So we're at the very top of the hill now. There's a little shop here. Of course, where there are tourists, there's always someone trying to make money. And here's the gate which actually enters into the botanical gardens. If you come before 7 a.m. or after 5 p.m, which it is now, 5:20, it's free. Otherwise you have to pay about a $15 fee to enter. I know what you're thinking. This doesn't look like China. It doesn't look like Xiamen. It looks like maybe the Sonoran Desert in Arizona, America, or with these camels. Fake, of course. Maybe the Saudi Arabia. Well, this is the botanical gardens, and this is the cactus garden. So here we are on top of the hill inside the botanical gardens. This is maybe the highest point on the island where normal people can go. I say normal people because there is an army base on top of a large hill off in the horizon. That one over there. But we can't go there, so this is probably the highest point that we can go. This is my favorite place actually, because not many tourists come here. It's very close to the cactus garden, which I just showed you before. The tourists all seem to go through the cactus garden, but they ignore this little rocky hill behind it. So anyway, I think this is the best view of Xiamen. Not much of a sunset today, unfortunately. Basically too much smog, I would say. As you can see, Xiamen is a very green island. Surprisingly natural. Well, it was much more wild and natural in past years, of course. Less than 100 years ago, there were in fact wild tigers living on Xiamen Island. Yes, so less than 100 years ago, this rock that I'm sitting on might have been a tiger's den or a tiger's lookout. The Amoy tiger, or as it's more commonly known, the South China tiger, roamed this province. So there was one missionary who in fact killed over 70 tigers back then. That tells you how many tigers there were in this part of China. Tragically, the South China tiger, now extinct in the wild. There are a few individuals in zoos, and there is a breeding program, and there is an idea to reintroduce them into the wild, but considering the lack of habitat and considering the lack of prey that exists now, it seems like it's pretty unrealistic that I have a little bit of a sunset for you now. This bunker that I was sitting on just before when I was talking about the tigers, it was actually built to defend this part of China against the threat from Taiwan. So on tops of the hills, many parts of Xiamen, you have these kind of bunkers. And interestingly, just 25 years ago, it was in fact illegal for foreigners like myself to climb these hills. That's how you cross the street in China. The cars won't stop unless you put your hand out. That was a pedestrian crossing, so I had right of way. So that's a military compound paying homage to China's great leader, President Xi Jinping. So this is a railway tunnel that was built during World War II to connect the train station in Xiamen with the army base and also the navy base. So the railway was never actually used for regular pedestrians. Anyway, they've closed the rail line about 20 years ago, and it's used as a walkway. So a lot of people exercising here every night. It's very safe and lit up 24/7. So we have another cool tunnel here. This is a military tunnel, kind of secretive as you could see from the entrance. So basically this is decorated to pay homage to China's great army and military. I guess these paintings of Chinese fighter planes are to encourage the next generation to join the mighty Air Force. Some information on China's great leaders, starting with the current leader, Xi Jinping. Ending up with the Great Mao, of course.
Pretty inspiring stuff.
So we're now in the main tourist street. This is called Zhongshanlu. And yeah, this is where all the tourists come. Most of the shops, souvenir shops. And it's quite beautiful actually, influenced by Portuguese architecture. The Portuguese have been coming to Xiamen for nearly 500 years. And the nearby island Gulangyu, also heavily influenced by the Portuguese. So inside this unnecessarily opulent shopping center next to the tourist street Zhongshanlu, they have an indoor ice skating rink. These watches are about the price of 1 year's rent, or the cost of rent that Hannah and I pay anyway.